Hello everybody, my name is Anday. I'm here with MatPat, and today this is gonna be another reaction video. This one's gonna be all about film theory. His theory is this the next Backrooms of the oldest view. Now, I have vaguely seen the video that this is talking about, the oldest view, the whatever, the one with the the rolling giants, the statue man, the Mr. Oldest Hugs, Mr. The Oldest View. I have not seen that video in its entirely, but I have seen shout outs to Windigoon. I've seen his video about it, the one where he reacted to Kane with Kane Carter, I believe his name is. And or no, not Kane Carter, that's somebody else. Kane Pixels, right. And yeah, that was just those two. So that was a good video. Shout out to him. I'll link him in the description below, just cause why not? He's a cool guy, cool man. He makes a lot of breakdowns, and his video of him reacting to the oldest view is very entertaining. I rewatch it frequently, even in my sleep. So based on removing the hilarity for a moment, that thing is still super horrific and horrible that just imagining it like when I saw it for the first time, right? It was alongside him in that video. It doesn't get me much now, but back then it got me like a lot of times. Even in if you've seen my Lethal Company playthroughs, which I've collabed with many people on. When we had that mod on, it was I was freaking out. Just, I mean, like, sure, it's not as big as it was, I should say, in real life in the game, but it's still very unnerving, very imposing, even if it's like just a little bit bigger. Which that is something I do think they should make in the Lethal Company mod, make it a little bit bigger. That way, it's far more terrifying as it was IRL than it would be regular statue man. Anyways, yeah. So the oldest view, it was this little a few videos. I believe one was him going down there and checking out the giant staircase that led into the mountain. And then the second video, I believe, was him going and looking around, seeing the staircase was actually leading into a mall that was underground, but it didn't really go anywhere else from there. But then there was a third video, I believe, which was him actually exploring into the mall and then stumbling across the giant, him trying to leave, but then it's blocked off mysteriously by paranormal origin. Also, spoilers for that video. It's already been like 4 months since it's been out. 4 months as of recording this. So yeah, that's what that is. And the rest of the video is, of course, him trying to get around through L. Wyatt, Mr. The guy who wants to be, who listens to Patrick Bateman edits. It's like it goes around chasing him through the thing. It doesn't go upstairs somehow, but then it does go upstairs at the end, which, that's a little, and there's a horse for some reason. And then, so yeah, like it's a very, very great video, unnerving, and not something I would watch alone and late at night. Because I will imagine him across the house. So anyways. Excuse me. So anyways, I'm very interested to see what Mr. MatPat's theory video is about. Mr. MatPat's film theory is about the old video was saying, is this the next Backrooms? The next Backrooms, gosh. Also on the next Backrooms, I've not really seen that much of the Backrooms. I mean, to be honest, I much prefer when it was like the first one. It was like, if you were there, you would know what it was. It was just this one little like post back then. It had someone like took a picture, I guess, of a very repeating patterned room and just said, hey, if you know clip out of reality, like, I don't know, say one day you're just chilling, then suddenly you're all like, hey, what's this here? Oh, what? and it was just sad. You know what I'm saying? So like for it to be made into a film, not a film thing, but like a video thing, which it's been going up really popular, not just with Kane Pixels and other people, of course, and not to discredit them at all. I think they're great videos. I have not seen much of them, but I liked how back then it was just a place of, it was just that. It was just a thing that, oh, this is just the rooms of that place and that's it. But then they added more levels, like they added the kiddie level, the party level, the pools, the pools. And don't get me wrong, those are all like really interesting places and things, but I much prefer when it was just like that, just the endless halls of of the thing that looked like an old house, pretty much like an old house, or like one of those old clothing stores. Like I can probably make a connection to a store that I've been to that had that exact like yellowish pattern, the fluorescent light, the sounds of it, and some smelling like it with carpeting. Like ugh, like just that gives me a good idea of what that would be like if you were in there. But it's that, not only that, but also like the different designs of monsters and such chasing you through the things. And I mean, honestly though, like those monsters aren't needed. Just for me, I think the place is unnerving on its own. Like just going through it all that you don't need monsters to make it scary. It's already scary, but adding monsters there just makes me horrified. And I don't want to be horrified by myself. I want to be horrified with friends. And that brings us all the way back to this video, because I'm not going to watch this on my own. I'm going to watch it with you guys. You all, my loving and adoring fans, who, just at this point, I hit 11.5k subscribers. Thank you so much for that, by the way. If I'm sure you all probably did come from the Charlie meme still, but thank you all for sticking around. It means a lot to me, and you all mean a lot to me as well. Your guys are awesome. Your guys are awesome. Your guy's awesome. That's all I have to say. Well, I have a lot more to say, but we can say that for another time. So the next Backrooms, the oldest video, I'm very interested to see what he says. Like, are we just gonna have more of the giant rolling around? Are we gonna have more of random stations? Which, I mean, that'd be cool. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, I wasn't in this area in particular, but I have been to Dallas, and it horrifies me to realize that I was potentially anywhere near wherever this guy was in that very what was it, the Valley View Mall, something like that, some specific mall area there. It horrifies me deeply to think that one day during my trip I could have accidentally, on purpose, gone to this place and encountered this monstrosity. And don't get me wrong, like, the statue's cool, whoever made the statue, all good as work, but it's still like, it's still horrifying. I wonder what that person thinks of their statue getting modded into Lethal Company. But anyways, Lethal Company aside, I'm very interested to see what Mr. MatPat's theory is about this, if it's the next Backrooms, whichever that may mean. Anyways, I think I've talked long enough about nothing and said a lot about nothing. Now let's get to the film theory, and of course this is my reaction to film theory. The original video is going to be in the description below. So is the link to the video of Wendigoon, him as well, and probably put King Pixels on there just in case, just to remind you all that I am reacting to them. They of course get all the credits, or they don't. They get all the credit. No, what's the word I'm trying to say? They did all the work. Go watch them. Then come back and watch me watch them. Watching them. Yeah, does that make sense? Probably not, but, they deserve the credit, is what I'm trying to say. There we go. So, without further ado, are you ready to watch this video, MatPat? Yeah, sure. That's, not even gonna attempt to make a MatPat voice, because I know I'll make it horrible. Anyways, let's get into this, film theory. Is this the next Backrooms? The oldest view. Thank you, MatPat. I can hear your voice talking to me right now. Anyways, let's go. Oh, wait, hold on. I didn't press play. Or I pressed play, but I didn't press the thing. Alright, here. Boom. Epic. Okay, let me press this just to be sure. And then Walled Files. I can't watch that. Too scary for me. Okay, volume. Volume's good. Okay. Oldest view. Play. Run. This is a nice looking vault. Run. Oh, this is easier. I like those videos.
I am trapped down here.
You
All
are.
the exits are closed and it's after me. I don't know if anyone will ever see this, but you need to know that. You need to know.
Okay, that didn't get me, but it still like unnerved me a lot.
Hello, Internet.
Whoa,
Welcome
that's cool.
to Film Theory, the show that reminds you to never trespass on private property because you might just get stuck in an analog horror series. Ladies and gentlemen, Kane Pixels has done it again. Taking a break from working on his Backrooms feature film to give us a brand new
the feature film.
The oldest view.
Okay, not to interject immediately, but I am wondering how that's gonna go. Is it gonna be around one person who no clips out of reality? Is it gonna be about what is it? There's a video game out there, right, where it's a bunch of team of researchers exploring the back rooms to learn about it. Is it gonna be about them? 17. Wow, talent starts early. Director A24. Yeah, I'm probably gonna check this movie out. I don't know. If I don't get scared by the trailer, sure.
Feature film to give us a brand new series known as The Oldest View.
The Oldest View.
And while the series certainly draws a lot of ideas and inspiration from Kane's Backrooms videos, something that the series itself calls out.
This is literally like the Backrooms from TikTok.
It is still very much its own thing.
Go to the line.
In case you've missed this one, The Oldest View is a more cinematic piece than Kane's previous Backrooms videos, combining his trademark found footage style with a couple of scenes that are more traditionally shot. In this series, we find ourselves behind the camera of a college YouTube vlogger named Wyatt.
He's also a business major, just FYI.
It starts off as a normal hiking vlog. Wyatt takes us to this weird hole that he found at the base of a large tree, revealing a staircase that descends straight down.
Weird hole is just gonna... Hold on, that looks pretty cool, actually. Look, because this is probably where he dug around, make the little hole, and then added the staircase digitally, but it's really cool to see.
That he found at the base of a...
Because look at that. That's cool. Also, underneath a tree, there's no way roots wouldn't show up there. That's not a critique, by the way. Just me being goofy, just a goof, a gaff. All credit to them, by the way.
Large tree, revealing a staircase that descends straight down into the earth and out of sight. And as any good YouTuber would, Wyatt decides to enter this obviously dangerous, mysterious
Okay, but he should have, just take like a... I don't know. I'm not saying he has a pickaxe on hand, but, if you're gonna go in here, you might as well just try to make it a little easier to go in and out of. You know what I'm saying? Don't make it as hard to come in and out to be inaccessible. Make it easier to go in.
Stairwell, all in pursuit of that sweet content. At the bottom, almost a mile underground, he finds something completely unexpected: an abandoned shopping mall. But unfortunately for Wyatt,
yo, gumballs, check that out, bro. Every single time you go and you're waiting, wow, they look they look a little funny. No. I mean, it's funny. Every single time we go shopping in the mall, right? We go to either Macy's or Sears or one of those places. I'm always begging my mom, "Hey mom, can you give me a quarter so I can buy a gumball?" She's like, "No, son, you cannot have one. You must wait until we're done." And I'm like, "Oh, I did it again." And it's fine. It's fine. But yeah, I'm like that, to be honest.
When he finds something completely unexpected.
Because gumballs, there's something else that you have, and you're just there, you're waiting, and you can't get gumballs anywhere else. You're just like, "Hey, can I get a gumball from this gumball machine?" No, yeah, fine. No, you have to ask your dad. You have to ask Dad will give you a quarter. But Mom was like, "No, you have to wait until after." Which is, it's always like that, to be honest.
Abandoned shopping mall.
At least it was to me.
Unfortunately for Wyatt, though the mall's devoid of human life, he isn't alone. Slowly, he's stalked by a mysterious...
Yeah, this is the most horrific image I've ever seen. You just here in the mall and just... Okay, well, to be honest, like... Honestly, I'm not saying I've been to an abandoned mall, but I have been to this... It was this very specific mall in a very specific place. It was like... It was a fairly old mall, but like... I'm not sure if it's still around, but when I was there, like, part of it was, part of it was going out. You know, like there's always that side of the mall that's like doesn't have that many stores, doesn't have that many people. It's just there. Well, I was in this part of the mall, essentially waiting for my mom to be done with something, and then I'm just there like waiting. And if you looked at it from like, if you looked at it from a certain angle or just sat around, it looked like it was an abandoned mall. And just that vibe of me just there was like, it's like a strange like sense of nostalgia, a strange feeling of like you shouldn't be here, but also like a weird sense of alonement and like alonement, is that even a word? A weird sense of like just that you're the only one there and you probably shouldn't be here. So like, yeah, that was I guess still remember how it like waiting there and having that specific feeling. I can't remember if I cried or not. Oh, I did it again, man.
A large.
Okay, that's good enough. Yeah, I'm just probably saying that was enough.
Void of human life, he isn't alone. Slowly, he's stalked by a mysterious
AMC
monster. A large paper-mache.
Yeah, look at how big it's. I feel like if you were to go up to it and try to push it over, it would just push you back and then roll you to death with his wheels. But yeah, like what's most intimidating about me personally with this thing is you don't know what it could do to you. Sure, it looks like nothing and it looks like it weighs nothing, but if it rolls up to you, you're not gonna stick around. What if it has little ghost hands under its face here? Like little ghost hands that come out and nab you and pull you in. What then? What then? You gonna fight? You gonna fight this thing? You gonna fight him? You think you can fight him? You can't fight him. Look at him. He has plants for arms, flowers arms, and flies arms.
A statue on wheels,
Yep.
straight out of the uncanny valley. A statue who seems to hate the fact that his home has been disturbed. Let me tell you, I wasn't sure that Kane was going to be able to recapture the mysterious and horrific lightning in a bottle that he found with the Backrooms. But it's been a while since a piece of media like this has kept me at the edge of my seat.
That is true.
Course, just like with the Backrooms, Kane has packed this thing to the gills with tons of hidden lore and blink and you'll miss it.
The
references.
lore.
In other words, it was practically begging for an episode. The questions here are just too intriguing not to dive into. What is the oldest view really about? What's with this rolling giant thing and why is it
Did he have a
stalking?
thing there? Hold on. I thought he had the little guy poking out. Is that something?
Really about? What's with this rolling giant thing and why is it stalking an abandoned mall? Heck, what even is the deal with that mall and why is it a mile underground?
That is true.
When you actually stop and do the research, underneath the layers of analog horror
is there a giant mall underneath the mountain IRL?
Story about longing for the past and how to embrace nostalgia without getting consumed by it. The craziest part, all of it is told through the lens of real people, real places, and real history. Yeah, the monster here, it really exists. So
yeah.
grab your camera phones and let's go to the mall.
And it was still very
theorists.
horrifying
It's time to
IRL.
head down the stairs into the
there it is.
So I feel like the best place to start is with a quick recap of the events that we see in the series itself. The first episode is a bit of a strange one, given Kane's previous releases.
This is what I was talking about.
Atmospheric and traditionally cinematic than his previous work with the Backrooms. We open in a forest. Here we see a man walking around picking flowers and scribbling in a small notebook. But what's interesting is that while the forest around him is bustling with life, full of the green color that you'd expect to find in the woods, the man himself is black and white, literally monochromatic. That's
yeah, he's
don't
gray.
stick around with this guy long, quickly cutting to scenes of someone's terrifying arts and crafts project, eventually creating an ominous mask. Wonder if that one's gonna come up again. Spoiler alert, it does. The second and third episodes take on a style a lot closer to what we've been used to, putting us in the shoes of Wyatt, the YouTube vlogger that we mentioned at the top
Wyatt.
of the episode.
What's up, guys? Wyatt here.
Wyatt takes his viewers
What's
down
up,
the
guys?
mysterious-
Back again, Wyatt here with this Valley View Mall. Epic,
What's up,
very
guys?
epic.
Wyatt here.
Wyatt takes his viewers down the mysterious stairwell that he found in the middle of nowhere, descending down and out of sight before eventually finding himself in that abandoned mall. After exploring around for a bit, Wyatt finds that all the stores are closed and that the exits of the mall just lead out to rock walls. But while it seems Wyatt is alone at first, he eventually runs into this fuel. This isn't just some weird modern art piece. This creature, known as the Rolling Giant, starts to follow Wyatt around the mall, an inanimate object somehow coming to life and stalking him.
I'm leaving. trying to leave.
Deciding that the views
Real,
just aren't going to be worth it,
night-
Wyatt heads back to the stairs
night
where
at the
he entered,
museum
only to find that he's been caved
core.
in. He's trapped in here with this murderous paper-mache monster and only a few options. While running from the creature, Wyatt finds himself in the mall's backroom hallways, eventually leading to an office space
The
that has a map of the mall
Backrooms.
and directions to another exit. But as Wyatt leaves the office backrooms and heads back into the main part of the mall, it's changed. It's become overgrown by plants and wildlife. Undeterred, Wyatt begins climbing for the exit that he found on the map. Unfortunately, the rafters collapse and Wyatt falls, only for the episode to once again...
That's speaking of that, my head falling. That was what I thought was very interesting because we never really see the giant get to him. He dies presumably from the fall, you know, assuming a fall from like what 2 to 3 stories was enough to do him in. And that's what got me really interested. Like because we didn't even see what the giant was gonna do to him. We just saw he died from a fall. That was on his fault, to be honest. Cause like he was right there. He could have gone at the staircase, but no, he had to fall for the plot, or the anti-plot arbor, I guess. Excuse me.
shift into a more cinematic, atmospheric scene, similar to those of the first episode.
Mhm.
Here we see Wyatt's corpse and broken...
Oh, he's dead. Oh, he's not even in black and white here. His phone.
phone laying in the dirt of the same forest.
Oh,
from the
then he
beginning
turns black
as
and
the
white.
giant looks on, hidden.
Yeah, this got me upsetting the most. Look at this. How does he get out of the mall? Is he free now? This would also go. Like, is this man free? Is he gonna go to other malls and bring them down underground and haunt them? Like, what is he cooking? Why is he there? I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
In the trees. So, what the heck's going on with this thing?
True.
Well, the way I see it, there are 3 main mysteries in the series so far. Number 1, what's up with the mall? Number 2, what is this monster supposed to be? And number 3, what's it all trying to tell us?
Yes.
So let's just do our best to break down what we can, starting with what's going on in the mall. Almost
Do that.
immediately after discovering it, Wyatt finds a
Midtown Airwalk, Dirt Side, if you are gallery in the studios. Over 100 local artists represented, including painting, sculpture, metal art, jewelry, fiber art, photography, pottery, and glassworks. Gallery, Midtown Studios. Dallas, Dallas, Texas. Yes,
sign designating this as Valley View Center. There are also a bunch of references to the city of Dallas, Texas.
Shout out to Dallas.
Dallas, show up.
I thought this was a really strange and specific detail, so we did a bit of digging. We found that the Valley View Center is actually a very real place that actually existed in
Crazy. Wait, Quiznos. They're pretty good. Quiznos here? Quiznos are good, dude. Go see other Claire's. AMC, that's like a theater. Where's the theater up here? I don't see a theater. Huh. This is where he escaped out of. That's cool. That's interesting. That's intricate. And here is where he falls. Just probably around that area. Oh, the little bumps. Oh. I wonder what's gonna happen there.
Dallas, Texas.
Yeah, I'd go to the mall, to be honest. Like, it looks like a good time. If it were, still around, I think.
We should also note that the series clearly doesn't take place in Dallas, and likely not in Texas at all.
It
First off,
doesn't.
The flora and landscape in the outdoor area that we see towards the beginning of Wyatt's vlogs looks a lot more like what you'd expect to find in Central California. This absolutely makes sense when you consider that Kane is from that part of California, but it's not just a production decision. As Wyatt's exploring the mall, he himself seems to think it's weird that he keeps seeing signs for Dallas everywhere.
So is it like presumably the situation is either he went to the portal that ended up in Dallas, or this whole mall ended up from Dallas into California underground? That's a little out there, but also like kind of cool. You know what I'm saying?
I've seen Dallas show up, but I'm not sure if it's talking about the city. But I've seen like 2 Texas shops, and it's on a lot of signs.
So right off the bat, that's pretty darn weird, right?
Yep.
What's this mall from Dallas, Texas doing in California? And maybe more importantly, why is it underground? Well, it's important to note that the Valley View Center doesn't actually exist anymore. Just like most other malls in the US, the Valley View Center was hit hard by the 2000s, thanks in large part to online shopping and
Oh yeah. How do I bid? How do I sell? Why eBay is safe? Register. It's free. Shout out to eBay. Been getting a lot of good stuff there.
Companies like Amazon taking
Whoa.
over their business. By 2012, the mall was bought out by an investment group called Beck Ventures, who didn't
Beck.
plan to save the dying mall, but instead demolish it and rebuild the land into a completely different shopping district
How
known
could
as
you?
Dallas Midtown. In fact, you can see part of Beck's plan to do this inside of the oldest view. As Wyatt's exploring the office space, you can spot several artistic renderings and publicity images displayed on one of the walls that he walks by. The very same ones that you can find in real life if you go to the actual website for the Dallas Midtown project. See, side by side there? They are one and the same. Why is that
That's
a big
neat.
deal? Well, it's at this point that we should stop and acknowledge that because this building was entirely demolished earlier this year, it means that
Earlier this year,
everything we see
really? Well, probably earlier to as of 2023, but now it's 2024, and yeah.
inside the oldest view here is 100% CGI.
Yeah,
Everything
this was
from the
that was
giant
what blew my
AMC
mind.
to the name 8 vegetables that start with B sign, all
Wait. Hold on.
everything from the giant AMC to the name 8 vegetables that's
Broccoli, black-eyed peas, beets, bell peppers, beans, pepper sprouts, broccoli. You said broccoli twice. Brussels sprouts, butternut, squash, bok choy. Who is this guy? How does he know? I wouldn't. I'd just say broccoli and that's it. Beans is a vegetable? I know beets is. Brussels sprouts also.
start with B sign, all painstakingly recreated digitally. And if the
Mhm.
comments from Dallas
Whoa.
local
I used to visit. I remember there being this amazing Midwestern style mosaic art piece with one of the anchor stores. This is really cool retro lemonade stand under an escalator that was bright yellow and green, and my grandmother would always get me something there. The food court escalators with the tiered planters that had narrow waterfalls going down both sides, leading to the big one in the middle that you could look up, down, going up. That you could look down, going up the elevator. I took pictures with Santa there one Christmas. To say this video rocked my core is an understatement. It's a masterpiece of horror. Brought to you. Yeah, I'll read the rest of these, but also like I say, it is crazy how they just literally took this mall that existed and made it into a horror piece. Like, really, it's because it's something so specific, you know. Like, what nostalgia horror does really good is, you know, when it gets back to saying, hey, this is a pizza place that is scary, FNAF. This is your school that's scary, Baldy, I guess. This is Mickey Mouse was scary, Benny the Dark Revival. You know, like, they do very good because they sing you somewhere familiar, but they twist it into something horrific. What they did here, what Kane Pixels did here, was put it into something very specific and make it horrific, which I feel that's super, super effective, you know, like taking something super specific and then molding it into this, which, you know, obviously is going to send a lot of people into just going to that realm of horror being most affected because, you know, they were there, they were at this place, and so was I at one point. I probably would have gone here too. But yeah, more of this, please. This is like really, really good and also really effective. Shout outs to Silver and Marilis, and shout out to Elizabeth Sandoval. This mall was my childhood. I've been going to it since I was a baby, when it was packed with people until it was told me to take it out. I moved to an apartment right in front of it when I was 14, and I am still to live here, 22. There's nothing left to build, which makes me sad. I would go walk into the mall when it was still open with my sisters, and we wondered what we wanted to do. My sister was always terrified to go to the giant statue, really, which was an art piece that always stood at the end of an empty hallway top floor. She called it the monster. And we always teased her for saying, hey, you want to go see the monster? The monster's coming for you. I was amazed by the video because it was the exact fear. And because of how accurate time in building is. Everything is to remember. You also give me so many memories. Shout out to your sister. She probably died watching that video. Jess D 3012. This is awesome. I spent the time going. Wait, what's the mall? It says Dallas. It's a business mall. When you revealed that it was that what mall it was in Wendigoon stream. Shout out to Wendigoon. Yep, I watched Finding Nemo on the MSC when it came out. Nice. It's very possible that I saw a giant and don't remember it as well. And if it's original, it's perfect. Yeah, shout out to all these people. For real.
or any indication, he did a bang-up job of bringing their memories to life.
Yep.
I don't just bring that up to show how impressive Kane's work here is. He chose this specific mall and these specific assets on the walls for reasons. And it all comes down to the rolling giant that stalks Wyatt throughout the video. Why? Well, this leads us to mystery number 2. What's the deal with the monster? Follow
Okay.
me.
Oh, good frame. Pause it. It just really makes me go into, like, what other public places are there out there I mean, this is a mall. There's a million malls, but what other places are out there that had a specific like giant or like has a specific thing, whether it's an art piece or not, but just has something that scares you, that like it draws your attention to it. You know, I can't say anything specific, but there was this one time in a local mall, I believe. It's kind of like it's a lot better now. It has a lot of stuff added to it, but there was this one mall that I would go to, and it had this like giant statue for some reason of a big pterodactyl. It was literally just a giant pterodactyl. It was blue, I think, and it was there floating up in the air, held it by cables. Every time we would go to that mall, I would be horrified. I would be absolutely terrified of that thing because it was just huge and it looked down upon you, and it looked like it was gonna fall right on you. Like, it was horrible, and I was scared every single time we go there. And then when the thing was taken down, I was happy. But now I don't really, I can't find it anymore. So yay me.
Here. Like most cities do, Dallas is no stranger to gassing up their local celebrities that either came from the city.
What? He came from there? No way. Mr. I know I know I'm saying this now, but just to be like, the guy from Loki. What's his name? Like, how do I? No, it's a wow. Jet skis, wow. I can't remember his name. I'm terrible with names, to be honest.
Help put
I'm
the
just
city
gonna
on the map. But while most other cities would just leave it at building statues or naming buildings after that famous person, Dallas does something a little bit different with their metaphorical giants.
Yeah?
They turn them into literal giants. See,
Oh.
in 2012, a group of local
That is horrifying. And so is that.
artists in Dallas organized something they called the Parade of Giants, where many famous Dallasonians from the city's past would be lovingly recreated as large statues. Statues that would then get rolled through the streets. You see where I'm going with this one, right? At the same time as the Parade of Giants,
So he's
before
the last
Gallagher
one.
Center was sold and demolished, many of its storefronts were rented to local artists to showcase their work in a push known as the Gallery at Midtown.
This has become a haven for local Dallas artists while this mall is undergoing a transition.
Something we see referenced not only on the first sign that Wyatt comes across, but also all across the mall. One of these artists was Kevin Obregon. We can actually see his studio among others as Wyatt strolls across the mall. And the giant that he created for the parade, yep, it is one and the same with the giant that we see stalking Wyatt throughout the mall. A statue who was the literal poster child for the Parade of Giants. So if these statues are meant to be real people important to Dallas history, who is this giant based on? Well, according to the description
Who is this
for the
man?
third episode, the creature is credited to Obregon and named the Julian Reverchon Giant.
Julian
If you didn't know,
Reverchon.
and I mean, why would you know this? Julian Reverchon was a botanist, someone who studies plants, born in France in 1837. Now, those factoids right there should already be connecting some dots for you. Firstly, the giant itself seems to be made of plants. Notice those massive plant-like hands. Secondly, the stairwell down to this creepy abandoned mall, it was found at the base of a large tree. Again, showing a connection with plants. And finally, our point of view character Wyatt, what's he studying in college again? Oh yeah, botany.
I was able to get a couple of trail cameras from my old botany professor.
Clearly, there's meant to be a connection here. And perhaps this is a clue as to why the mall is so far underground beneath a tree. It is the roots to our story. Anyway, in 1856, Julien Reverchon and his father moved to the U.S., heading for a settlement called La Reunion, which is now Dallas, Texas. Unfortunately, travel took ages back in the 1800s, and by the time they eventually got there, La Reunion had basically collapsed. Instead of just turning around, though, and heading back to France, Reverchon stuck around and joined the nearby community of Dallas back when it was only a few hundred farmers. And from there, he was pretty instrumental in the development of Dallas into the metropolis that it is today, becoming something of a local celebrity while expanding his plant collections and teaching others about botany at Baylor University College. Reverchon Park in the city was even named after Julien after he died. Reverchon is clearly an important person to this story. Not only is this creature based on a real sculpture of the guy, but it isn't the only time that he shows up. During the third episode, when Wyatt returns to the store that he found the giant in, there's a portrait of a man in one of the storefronts.
Oh, that's it?
Julien Reverchon. Reverchon. In front of it is a single twig with leaves on it, a nod to the giant and Reverchon's career as a botanist. Finally, Reverchon is also our connection to the mysterious man in the first episode
Is that
of
him?
Oldest View. Remember that guy? The dude stuck in black and white while the rest of the forest is green? Well, on IMDb, the character is credited as Julian Reverchon. He's the dude who's out here existing in nature.
They have IMDb on YouTube videos?
Doing his general botanisty things, which brings us
General
to mystery number
botanisty
3.
things.
Why? What does any of this even mean? This series
Wait,
clearly
did it already
has
pass?
a lot of very specific, very sculpture of the guy, but named after Julian.
Why is
after
this
he
the most
died.
replayed?
Reverchon is clearly an important person to this story. Not only is this creature based on a real sculpture of the guy, but it isn't the only time that he shows up. During the third episode,
I
when
guess
Wyatt
it-
returns to the store that he found the giant in, there's a portrait of a man in one botanisty things.
Botanisty things. Okay, I thought it was gonna be a scare. That's why I was a little.
What does any of this even mean? This series clearly has a lot of very specific, very regional references to real-world people, events, and history. This stuff was not put here on accident. This isn't meant to be a bunch of Easter eggs or random decisions. This all means something. And I think we can decipher it starting here, in the back rooms of the mall. Well, in
The
office,
flags.
Wyatt finds himself a piece of paper that describes fire safety protocols for the Valley View Center. It is very detailed. It even refers to several other documents with numbers on them, each with a specific purpose. But if you break down the numbers, they all have hidden meanings. They're all dates that describe very specific periods of time. Document 1855-1857 can be broken down into the years 1855 and 1857.
Yes.
The exact date range that the La Réunion settlement outside of Dallas existed. Remember, this was the place that Reverchon was leaving France for, before the community collapsed and Reverchon was forced to move to Dallas. The next document, 1973-2023, refers to the dates 1973 to 2023. If you dig into the history of the Valley View Center Mall, you'll find that it was first built in 1973, and that the last remnant of it was demolished earlier this year,
1973.
2023. And finally, the third document references 1837 and 1905, the years Reverchon was born and died. But we can actually take things even deeper by looking at the instructions attached to each of these numbers. See, these aren't just Easter eggs, they're clues to tell us what the series is trying to say, at least thematically. Document 1855-1857, the one referencing La Réunion, refers to emergency assembly points, places to safely gather in the event of a fire, described as a safe distance from the building if it were ever to have structural issues from damage. If this is meant to be where you go in the case of an emergency, it cannot be a coincidence that the numbers are pointing to a town that ultimately didn't survive. It's pretty ironic. One that's even more interesting, though, is document 1837-1905, the one pointing to Reverchon's life. This one is talking about what people should do if the exit routes become inaccessible. In other words, this document seems to be thematically telling us the way out of this situation. The way to solve Wyatt's
emergency
problem
routes
and
have
escape from
exit.
this danger is going to be looking at Reverchon himself, his life, his decisions, what was important to him, and what the giant represents throughout the series. What do I mean by that? Well, think about what we actually see the Reverchon giant doing throughout the videos.
He's just
He
rolling.
aggressively follows Wyatt and spooks him, but he doesn't kill Wyatt. In fact, the only real indication that we have of what the giant's after, as the giant corners him, Wyatt asks,
What do you want?
and the giant shows him something strange. The
Shows
lights
him
flicker, and
illusions.
suddenly there's a pair of dead horses and dead men on the floor.
Yeah,
These
the
are clearly
horse.
things that Reverchon, the real one, would have witnessed at some point during his life. These men dressed in old-timey clothes and the horses and whatnot, classic cowboy stuff, all a flash from Reverchon's past. And this sense of a flashback isn't just present here. In the first episode of the series, as Reverchon is picking flowers and the giant's being made, we can hear a song titled When the Swallows Homeward Fly. And if you listen to the lyrics, they very much lean into these same feelings of sadness and nostalgia. Quote, when the summer days are gone, when the roses fade and die, and no more is heard the song, parting, oh parting is grief and pain. This is a song about nostalgia, because this is a series about nostalgia, both the good and the bad ways that you can hold on to it. Honestly, this song, this is what made everything click for me. As I was really sitting down to crack the series, the decision to tell this story with Reverchon and these themes in a mall of all places really bothered me. Like, sure, I guess the sculpture's from here, but why dive into this particular story with this man in this place? And then it hit me. Just before Wyatt exits the back rooms and finds them all overtaken by plants, you can see this poster for just the briefest of moments.
Do you
It
accept-
reads, do you accept this impermanence? That right there, not exactly a motivational phrase you'd expect to find in a typical workplace, especially one that has been so painstakingly recreated by Kane. No, this poster was put here to make a point. And you know what's truly impermanent in this series? The mall. It's gone. It is a vacant lot in Dallas, Texas now. Evidence of its impermanence for all to see. That is what the Oldest View is about. It's a nostalgia trip for anyone from the area. And you don't have to take my word for it. Out of the nearly 17,000 comments left on the third episode at the time that I'm writing this, Kane chose to like just 4 of them. Each one with
Ooh, interesting. Each has nostalgic. I took a picture with next to the puppet when the mall still existed. They had placed in random parts of the mall. Actually, people would move it around. It was ridiculous how unnerving, both up close and far away. I never thought I'd see it again. I couldn't believe it was all there. I guess everyone else was in it. Now, moment in time, perfect audience. We're a little space. He's probably gonna read all this. Nope, he's not. Alright, good. We're a little space strangers are familiar, but may as well one-to-one reaction of a memory of a place that once existed, but no longer does. As if a dream, or in this case, a nightmare. The ideal liminal horror. That's honestly what I believe the Backrooms should be as a concept. But yeah, actually. A place between the cracks of space and time where all the forgotten places and memories of mankind kind of wander, sinking to the bottom of reality. The way they manifest being an accumulation or really amalgamation of the memories of those who once inhabited these now sunken places, absorbed into the very foundation of each space. An extra hypersic time capsule, captured in layered moments where time itself seems to be a constant state of collision as much as it stands still, purely ineffable, and unpredictable nature, equally as terrifying as beautiful as natural. I'd never read this word before. It is fantastic, really. Ignore that guy. Some may notice this already. I found it fascinating. The oldest view of renewal, the man we see looking at flowers, reading the book in the forest bears his straggling rebellious eyes. To depiction to Julian Rivershun. Google him. He was a French botanist, all too specific. His brief, top botany in Dallas later his life. A Dallas artist, Kevin Ortebergen, created a massive, uncanny Julian art piece of so rolls, as seen here. It was left at the Valley View Mall after its permanent closure in real life. The mall has been completely demolished earlier this year. Just this year, and there are plans to remodel it. Hopefully make it differently. 1755 or 3755. Jeez, we actually see some of these redevelopment plans. Looks like an office space was being planned in the mall's redevelopment. I'm unsure what significance is to the Kane's plot, but it's very interesting to see these areas and models after real things and people. Though they are insignificant to most people, I mean the info regarding the mall and the giant is sparse. I'd have to imagine this mall is special nostalgia for many people. I bet Julian gave many children nightmares. Oh yeah. Oh my god, having finished this, I am feeling all sorts of emotions, thoroughly freaked out, aching nostalgic. But most of all, incredibly damn impressive by the accuracy and their incredible attention to detail. Can I honestly say, out of all things that have been about the staircase, all the things that titled The Oldest You could have been referencing the location of my first job as perfectly recreated value as what I was really expecting. I drive past the site where the mall used to stand by every new day. He says damn a lot. Most of the spots of video taking place were turned down. Right before Kane's first Backrooms footage tape went up. When White emerged from the store, which I'm 99% certain used to contain a video game store, based, and myself, were suddenly looking at the exact spot. Little kiosk disc used DVDs used to be. It's chilled up my spine as intensely I haven't spelled. This is Blair Witch Project ending. Oh yeah, Blair Witch Project. That was also a good movie. There's so many intensities. He got absolutely perfect, like the stupid poster of a vegetable. The start with the letter B, which stayed for several years, and a fake was still there when the fire happened there this year. I ended up calling my mom to reminisce. She was a teenager living nearby with them all three open. When she got her first job there, one of my aunts was. Anyways, as always, my jaws on the floor. The socks have been blown clean off. I have a strange and spooky fear that I'm just a character in Steven Spielberg's video, and we soon meet to dreadful fate in liminal space. Perfect October Vice. Oh yeah. I need to get better at my readings. So yeah, shout out to Sodium Vapor Dreams. Shout out to Yugi Problems. Huge Problems? Huge Problems. Haha, I get it. Huge Problems. 8810. And shout out to Chex Fan 2000.
Mentioning the strange sense of nostalgia that they got from seeing this mall that they remember
yeah, that one guy
but will
didn't
never
know.
see again in real life. Even if you aren't from Dallas, if you're a certain age range, you're probably still going to be feeling a similar sense of nostalgia. Sure, almost everyone who's watched or will ever watch The Oldest View will have never stepped foot into the Valley View Center, but
I haven't.
Were very much a ubiquitous part of American culture for decades. But as more and more of life has shifted online, it is harder and harder for malls to stay in business. Many have closed their doors forever.
Please go to your malls. They're great. I love going to the mall. It encapsulates that specific 2000s energy that I need to more of in my life.
Estimate saying that only 700 are still open in the U.S.
Really? Only 700? I never knew this. Wow.
22. Nostalgia is a powerful emotion. It's bittersweet. It also brings a certain type of comfort. Scientists have used nostalgia to alleviate depression and homesickness in soldiers.
Super Mario
And I think
World.
that
I'm
is
still
the
playing
feeling
that right
the
now.
Oldest View is trying to capture here, despite the spoopy, scary imagery. Look back at those comments that people from Dallas left about seeing Valley View in the video. None of them were sad. They were grateful. They were happy to reminisce about this thing that was a part of their lives and is now forever gone. They were able to bask in that impermanence one final time. It was important to them to honor that memory and not to just milk it for clout and then run
That is
away from
true.
it afraid like Wyatt, which is why he eventually had to die. Impermanence is the way of nature. It's the way of
Is that
life.
why he had to
All
die?
things eventually come to an end, and you either embrace that or else you're fighting a losing battle. That's something a botanist like Reverchon would know all too well. But hey, that's
Just a theory. This guy
A
was just so
film
ugly.
theory.
True.
And cut.
Cut. Is there something? Oh, there's a spooky at the end. Wait. Editing dungeon. And cut. And I'll cut out that from here too. Great video as always. That was very interesting, especially that last part bits where at the end talking about nostalgia with them, you know, pretty much agreeing and saying that this was something that was good for them to go look at. Which, I mean, you know, it's got to be something cool, you know, having once visited a place, seeing something so specific and so surreal, and have it be recreated into a video that you can relive all your memories that in this video, while also having something that potentially very scared you back then be the enemy or the antagonist to you now. So that's like you know, this is perfect, some perfect stuff here. Shout outs to King Pixels, and shout outs to everybody who went to that mall. But I don't know what he means by the end, why he had to die, because he had to be a victim to being consumed by nostalgia, I guess. I don't really know what that's all about, but a very good video, or a very good analysis was nonetheless. So yeah, like if it means this being like a next thing, I feel like there's a lot of things you could go with this, like repeating essentially the message of this, of nostalgia. There's a lot of ways he could take this, you know, like it doesn't even have to be him. Other people out there, you in fact, if you know you really want to do that, you could go and make something that you used to go to, or you used to be afraid of while you were a kid, and you can relive that nostalgia in this way of horror that takes you to a very like liminal space, and it's still a very effective. Like, I mean, if they recreated this, say the Oldest View, it was another series, like a I don't know, adventure series. Maybe he punches the giant and sends it down the staircase instead of him. Would it really have the same effect? Or would it be different? I think it would be different. It's because it's very specific. It has a very specific like feeling. You know, it's horror, and horror is very effective because it's obviously it goes to a very primal state of existence. You know, like there's always something you're afraid of. There's always something you don't know about. There's always something that you are terrified of and just don't want to be near. And that's essentially what that was. What the Rolling Giant was, because he was a big scary plant man made after a botanist. So like what I'm saying essentially is, you know, like this could be done a lot. It's like if there was something that scared you as a kid out there in like a specific place, you could recreate that memory. Like you could recreate it and have it be shown to like other people, and they were there, they saw this too, so they would know this memory also. They were, because they saw it, they were there. They very much like whoever was in the video that you make, they were there and they were experiencing the same thing. They probably weren't, hopefully not being chased around by a rolling giant. Hopefully not that, but you know, like he puts it away in a much better idea, I think. And I feel like, you know, that's a very good way of perspective, you know, taking this thing that you've seen once before and that no longer exists, but was brought back into existence in a way in this video, encapsulating what it was like to be there, but now. And you know, shout outs to that. Shout outs to the Mad Patch, shout outs to all those people who been there, shout outs to King Pixels. And really, I think, you know, I think he showed this at the end of the Wendigoon stream, or not the end, but like sometime. He's making the statue, I think. Maybe. Perhaps. He made the cardboard mask. But yeah, like, what does this mean? Like, is there someone out there gonna say, hey, I should remake that statue? And then they're gonna be out there, oh, the rolling giant is back. Either K-Pix is gonna make the statue again, or somebody else. And don't get me wrong, the statue is cool and all, and that's like very important to the history of Dallas. But if the thing exists in this world, then I don't want to be near it, or is brought back into existence, then I don't want to be near it, for sure. Anyways, so yeah, I guess that's all I have to say about this. A great video, of course. Go watch them. Go watch them. Go watch them. Go watch them. Go watch them before you watch me. So yeah, their videos are gonna be in the description below. Go watch them. I said that like 4 times now. Yeah, I'm reacting to them. You can subscribe to them and then subscribe to me. And if you want more reactions, please let me know in the comments below. I probably won't do anything unless it's specific, but for now I'm just gonna stick to the film theories and game theories because unfortunately he's gonna be going away very soon, and that makes me very sad. Or not the film theory. The film theories are going away, but MatPat himself. I'm gonna miss you, MatPat. Even though you're right here, it feels like you're far away. I know, MatPat. I know. I know. You don't have to say anything. It's okay. You can just look at the camera. It's gonna be okay. I'm gonna miss you. Anyways, this has been me reacting to film theories and all of you. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Again, all the stuff in the description. Go check them out. And my name is Anday, and this has been my reaction to this video. And thank you all for watching. Please let me know if you want me to watch more of these. I'll definitely check them out. I probably won't watch them in the video because I get super scared. Anyways, bye-bye.